Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Argo News. I'm Patrick Glazer.
And I'm Rafael Reyes. Job fairs are always a great chance to talk to professionals about their available jobs and internships. Elizabeth Bartone has more on the story.
UWF invites you to attend the Criminal Justice Job and Resource Fair.
The job fair that we put on every year is done by the Criminal Justice Student Association, and we bring in agencies from around the area that have various criminal justice law enforcement related tasks, and it's a way for students to get some information about job opportunities or internship opportunities, and a way to actually speak to somebody from those agencies that they might not have otherwise. Well, a lot of students don't have an opportunity to get to actually meet and talk to individuals that work at these agencies around the area, and so this is a nice way for them to be able to come in and actually talk to a person about the opportunities that might exist in that agency, as well as stuff that they can be doing now in terms of classes that they're taking, or possibly doing internships, or getting other part-time opportunities that might help to help them get to a full-time job in the future. Well, the specific questions that a student would ask would probably vary depending upon the stage that they were at in school. So a student that was finishing up school and really looking for a full-time job opportunity would probably want to come prepared to ask questions about that next step and how to get from where they are in school after graduation and moving directly into a career. We also have students who come to the career fair to just to sort of start making some connections a little bit earlier than that, possibly for internships, or possibly so that they can contact that person a year down the road when they are looking for a job. And so those students sometimes will, as well as the others who are looking for jobs, come with questions just asking about the individual's career paths and how they got where they are, as well as what opportunities are available in a broad sense at that specific agency, and the different kinds of jobs that people do there, so they can get a better idea of what might be happening for them now or a little bit later.
All majors are welcome. This is a great opportunity to learn about your career options. I'm Elizabeth Bartone, reporting for Argo News.
That is an excellent opportunity that should not be passed up on.
I agree, and with so many career paths to choose from, there are certain ones that truly stand out.
Sometimes just being there can make all the difference.
A nursing program is growing, for one, and for two, there are several avenues. There's an RN to BSN, and then we have the traditional program, and we admit about 55 students a year for that. It's fairly competitive. It's quite the application process, as it should be. You look at the nursing student, and one of the things that we want to happen is for them to succeed, because if they do not, if they drop out, we've lost that slot. And then we have to wait, for another whole year, 2 years actually, till they get done for the next class. So then we lose out the whole time. The simulation program is part of their clinical component. The Board of Nursing approves simulation time for up to 25% of clinical hours. And with that being said, if the Board of Nursing approves it, it's drenched in evidence. Everything we do in nursing has to be evidence-based practice. And so simulation has advantages over the clinical setting because we can provide exact opportunities. For example, you might go into the hospital on labor and delivery unit and no one come into labor that day. So here in simulation, we can create the scenarios that we need and have full coverages. Second, there are no dangers with the mannequins. We can practice on them. And the disadvantage would be that it's not as realistic. Obviously, it's a mannequin, and there are things that the mannequin cannot do that a human can do. But the students initially have a struggle, then they're able to open up their mind and practice with a mannequin as if it was a real human being. The goal is to promote quality and safety.
With all the new technology, UWF's nursing program could be right for you. I'm Kara Brown, reporting for Argo News.
I'm sure many of you have seen the Rex Theater downtown. Big things are happening for this Pensacola landmark. Kathleen?
What Pensacola icon is being brought back to life? It started as a furniture store, but soon transformed into what it is known as today, the Rex Theater. This landmark building has since been vacant for decades, but Harvest, a local church, is planning on giving it new life.
It's gone through a couple of owners since before we acquired it, but nothing really happened as far as refurbishing it and opening it back up. So it's pretty much been empty for a couple decades at this point. We're planning to convert it back to a theater. So we want to turn the Rex Theater back into the Rex Theater. We're going to convert the stage, because it was only for movies at the time. We want to convert the stage so that we can both play movies in it, but we can also have live performances. And so we're thinking, you know, like bands and, you know, maybe comedians, maybe like some black box theater, because it's not a large enough stage to do big productions, but it's large enough that if you have, you know, a simple set and a few actors, you can do some cool shows. So we definitely want it to be, I guess, available in the sense of if we want to host some kind of show, that it can do that. And so that's going to be the first, I guess, 2 floors, because the main theater has a very high roof, and then on the back there's going to be like a cafe on the 2nd floor, and then there's a 3rd floor which we're going to convert into like meeting space, areas for our children's ministry whenever we have that on Sunday, but it'll be kind of multi-purpose use on the 3rd floor. And then eventually, but this is, you know, could be down the road, we want to convert the rooftop to a rooftop balcony, and, you know, just where you can do weddings and, you know, all kinds of cool stuff on the top of the building.
As of now, Harvest is planning on moving into the Rex by summer 2014, and the church group is excited by what this will mean for the community.
So we want to reawaken the block between Garden and Chase of Palafox, and I think first and foremost our involvement with the community is going to be to help to awaken that block by having the Rex up and running and functional.
Keep an eye out for the grand reopening of the Rex Theater. I'm Kathleen Hicks reporting for Argo News.
So, who likes salsa? Reporter Patrick Glazer has more on the UWF salsa team.
All right, everybody, get your dance shoes on. Who's ready to break a sweat?
What the UWF salsa class focuses on during the class is not only just the salsa dancing, but they have salsa, merengue, bachata. Those are 3 different types of Latin dancing. They focus on the basic. First, they teach the basic of salsa. Then they go into partner work. And partner work is really fun because you're not just learning the basics by yourself, but you get to experience it with another guy, or if you're a guy, with another girl. So they split you up. You don't have to come with anyone. You don't have to bring a guy with you. You don't have to bring anyone. They split you up according, you know, half the side is men, half the side is female, and you switch around. You switch partners. So the salsa, the merengue, the bachata, all 3 different types of Latin dancing, they're all really fun. And Jose pretty much teaches whatever he feels like teaching that day. He's the president, by the way, Jose. And whatever he feels like is a good thing to learn, he'll teach you and get you as experienced as you want to be. We're Pura Sabrosura, the salsa team, and we just want to say every Thursdays, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the green studio at the gym, building 72, I want to say, HLS facility. Right there, every Thursday, 7:30 to 8:30. You should come out, you should have fun. It's not about being the best, it's about just learning and having fun, socializing, and all that jazz. So, thanks.
Again, any interested dancers can check out the salsa class, 7:30 to 8:30 at the UWF gym, Thursday nights. I'm Patrick Glazer, reporting for Argo News. In more serious news, reporter Jamie Kennedy has a story on the importance of communication.
Date rape has become one of the top issues of campuses nationwide.
Often it occurs through a lack of communication amongst couples. People will get together and they won't talk about what they plan to do and what boundaries they set. So these things will happen, and people fail to communicate. There are also predators, of course, who commit these acts, but often what we find is the couples have not sorted these things out. So we end up investigating these date rapes, and we have some prevention programs where we get together with males and females and encourage them to talk before they go out on dates about what the boundaries should be, and talking about, may I do this, may I do that, and what will we do if, those kinds of things. Well, the best thing to do is education. You know, at the age that we have living on universities, and this is a nationwide problem, that people need to be educated about how to deal with these situations. No means no, and we need to be assertive enough to say no, and we need to understand no means no if you're hearing it. And often in residence halls, there's no furniture, there's a bed, and there's not a couch or things, and you have a guest over and you're watching TV and you're lying in bed and people get the wrong signals, they have misinformation, and things go badly. So we encourage you to contact us, the police, but you can contact the residence hall staff, you can contact the housing director, the dean of students. We have a victim advocate. A lot of people don't know that, but we have a specialist attached to the police department who serves as the person to help the victim of a violent crime, and rape is a violent crime.
Remember, no means no. If you need to report or have any information about a violent crime, please contact the police. And remember, it's never too late to speak out. I'm Jamie Kennedy, reporting for Argo News.
If you need help or know someone who does, please call one of the numbers on the screen.
A lot of people have wished to give something back to Mother Nature, but aren't sure how. One student has figured it out.
Interested in finding a green way to serve your community?
It was a couple students, I think some were anthropology majors, approached Dr. Thompson around 2008, 2009. They wanted to start a garden club. And also Dr. Thompson teaches a honors seminar called Politics of Food. And with the honors seminar, students engage in the garden by planting, and it just kind of spawned from there. I took Dr. Thompson's Politics of Food last fall, fall 2012, and as a part of the class we had to get involved with the garden, and I knew that in the spring he didn't have the class and the beds could possibly go dormant, or there wouldn't necessarily be a leadership, like people involved with the garden. It's rather peaceful, and you can interact by yourself or you can interact with others out there. It's nice to get along with nature. Usual duties include, since the garden club actually is a conglomerate of multiple clubs, we have 16 beds out there, and almost every bed is occupied by at least one or more clubs. As a job as the president, I help determine who all is going to get a bed. If representatives from clubs come, they'll ask me and I'll go out and we'll decide who gets the beds for the next semester. We're partnered with MANA food banks. It was only natural to whatever we grew and whatever we didn't want to consume ourselves, or whatever we wanted to donate. It's a good thing to partner with the community.
As the leader of the garden club, Caroline continues to give back to the community through healthy produce. I'm Rafael Reyes, reporting for Argo News. The theater department at UWF remains busy throughout the year. Reporter Emily Hales has more on their latest projects.
Not busy on the weekends? Are you looking for some form of entertainment?
Auditions were last semester, so we've had all of the summer to get our lines, our music, all of that taken care of. And we started first day of school. On the first week we worked on music. The second week we had the entire show blocked, and we've just been working on building relationships and getting with the set and having it all come together since then. So since like August 28th. I play Amy March, which she is the youngest of the four sisters. She is very snotty and loves things like what money can buy. She wants the finer things in life. She's maybe 10, 13 in that age range. And then the second act, she comes back from Europe. She's mature, she's 16, she's engaged. Every year we go through which play should we put on. We come up with a whole season, and then we assign directors. We came up with Little Women first, and Hanan Tarabe, she is our director, and she loves this show. She is all about the music, all about the acting, and I'm not sure why they gave her the show, but thank God they did. This show has, or actually every show from here on out will have 6 performances, 2 weekends, Friday through Sunday. Our last show is going to be on Sunday at 2:30, and then we have another show, Pericles, which opens November 15th, and so we'll have that weekend and the weekend after that. So every show has 2 weeks. We want them to get a full experience of what the University of West Florida, their theater department, can do, and how hard we work, and how much we want them to come and see our shows, not just for the sake of it costing money, but for the sake that we work so hard on something, and this is our passion. We want to share our passion with the community of Pensacola, and however far along we can reach out.
The UWF Theater Department works each year to provide the community with an abundance of performances. I'm Emily Hales reporting for Argo News.
What would a play be without costumes?
UWF has some very talented costume designers at hand. Princeton?
The role of the costume designer is to create balance between the actors and the script through texture, color, and design.
It's a crazy rock and roll show, so it's just been a lot of fun to, I can kind of go as crazy as I want with some of this stuff, and it's been fun. It's been like a 3 or 4 week process since we've started, just reading through the script and breaking down like what area is each genre and going through all of that. So, and then we have a really great resource called Art Store on our databases, and it's been really, it's a really just a big database of other museums and art collections and stuff, so it's been pretty easy. Internet. It's been interesting because there's about 12 or 13 of them, but they're all playing a million different characters, so even though I only have so many people, they each have like 20 different outfits, so it's been crazy. Coming to West Florida has been a really great decision. I transferred here, and ever since I've come here, I've learned so much. And this is my first design, so Pericles has been interesting and a challenge, but a lot of fun.
Costume designers typically seek to enhance a character's personality through the way that they are dressed on the stage, allowing the actor to move freely. I am Princeton Drake reporting for Argo News.
Reporter Anna Plevik has information on a very important time in history.
I've wanted to learn more about Nazi Germany.
I'm focusing on primarily, although I start with the 1920s, focusing on the 1930s and the war years. The strategic bombing campaign against Nuremberg that destroyed it, how the people in Nuremberg experienced that. But going further back, I'm also looking into the different political environment that existed there. This was an era that changed the world forever. It changed everything about how we perceive the world today, not to mention, of course, the genocide that it established of European Jews and horrible conditions for other people. And of course the 50 million deaths that the Second World War caused. And of course those figures are estimated. Nobody will know for sure how many people died in the Second World War. But there were a lot of issues. There were a lot of political, cultural, social issues that need to be examined at that time to try to prevent such a calamity from ever occurring again.
Nuremberg is a city rich in history that played a vital role in Nazi Germany. I'm Anna Plevak reporting for Argo News.
UWF hosts an annual competition that brings in talented students from local high schools. Reporter Nick Gray has more on the event.
Just listening to what's going on behind me, you might be surprised to find out that I am actually at the 7th annual Emerald Coast Best Robotics Competition, where teams from various high schools around the area are competing to be the best.
Students have 40 days to build a robot using materials donated to them by BEST. Each round offers challenges that require the robot to perform basic tasks that allow interaction with objects in the field area.
The game this year is the best robot, Squeaky, needs a new upgrade in his CPU. So they've got to come in and build AND, NOR, and NOT gates and NAND gates.
The batons make up the number of transistors. Hangers are used to build multiplexers and delatchers, and what looks like puzzle pieces represent latches and decoders that are put together to create a mock CPU processor.
It teaches the youth about electric circuits that are everywhere. They're in everything that we have today.
And students seem to be learning.
I learned the programming and I learned the code syntax. That way I can write other codes like Java, ActionScript. What got me into it was gaming, because I was using coding with gaming, and then Lewis had told me I would be able to use coding for the robotics.
This is very important because it develops the grounds on which students begin to learn how to use software engineering and practical applications.
It's excited the kids in school again. There is an excitement for education.
Based on the scores today, there may only be one winner for the competition, but if you take things into account like teamwork, innovation, and inspiration, well then everyone wins. I'm Nick Gray, reporting for Argo News.
The Student Nursing Association at UWF works each year to get involved in the community as much as they can.
Do you want to walk to bring awareness to a cause bigger than you?
The Student Nurses Association is a part of a national organization, the National Student Nurses Association. Here at UWF, we take pre-nursing students, juniors, and seniors. Our main focus is going out into the community and doing community service. We also do a lot of fundraising for big events like Relay for Life. And we also do a lot of things on campus as well, such as doing immunization shots during flu season. Relay for Life, it's a huge event. It takes place all over the United States. A lot of high schools and colleges do it, as well as other organizations in the community. But on campus, we all come together, all the different student organizations and departments, and everybody has different tents and booths set up. And it's basically just like a time for everybody to come out and support cancer and finding a cure. We do a lot of donations. We do a lot of walks around the track to raise money. And also, like, it's just a time to hang out and just support all of the breast cancer survivors and the other survivors of cancer. One thing that I hope that came from it is just that we raised money, and that, you know, the money that we do raise is going towards finding the cure for cancer. You know, that's like the main focus as far as the breast cancer walk. And also that, you know, we're just being a part of the community, and that, you know, we're showing our support and that we're getting our name out there so that the community does know that there's a Student Nurses Association on campus.
When it comes to a good cause, everyone takes a stand. I'm Bruce Joseph, reporting for Argo News.
That's our show for today. I'm Rafael Reyes.
And I'm Patrick Glazer. Thanks for tuning in to Argo News.